We begin with the breaking news that the German government here in Berlin has authorized Ukraine to use weapons supplied by Germany to strike certain military targets inside Russia, but only in defense of the eastern Kharkiv region. Now, the move marks a policy shift for Berlin and follows US President Joe Biden's earlier decision to allow Ukraine to use American weapons to strike certain targets on Russian soil. These loosened restrictions are intended to help Ukraine beat back Russia's latest advances near Kharkiv. Let's get more on that German decision from our chief political correspondent, Nina Haase. Welcome, Nina. So guide us through, then, this German change of heart.
It is a change of heart indeed, and it comes, I think, because two things happened. One, the situation on the ground for Ukrainians has been getting very, very difficult. Kharkiv especially is under a lot of pressure. And the note by the government spokesperson where they announced that decision that we have a copy of, that one explicitly mentions that the German government always monitors the battleground situation carefully and then reassesses just what kind of support Ukraine needs. And they have reached the conclusion that Russia has been, and I quote, planning, coordinating and carrying out attacks on Kharkiv from locations on Russian territory. So Germany has now joined the group of nations that think that Ukraine needs to be able to attack the source and not just the effects, so that they must be empowered to target those installations from where Russia launches those attacks in order to be able to prevent Russia from attacking, rather than trying to bring down all those rockets. But the second thing that happened is, in my view, equally important. The US have now officially given their okay for American weapons to be used for especially these purposes. And this has been one of the guiding principles for the German leadership. They've always said they will absolutely not go it alone. That was a recurring message by the German Chancellor in every discussion about every new weapon system that Ukraine has been asking for over the last 2.5 years, and that Germany must not be seen as the one going forward and leading essentially the support for Ukraine militarily. And you have to add that the note also stresses that Ukraine has the right, according to international law, to carry out those attacks on military infrastructure, even in Russia, on foreign territory, that is covered by international law if they serve the purpose of self-defense. So one more takeaway from all of this decision does appear to show that Germany does trust the Ukrainian leadership, because so far they've always adhered to the limits that they've been given by their allies.
And a quick word then on Germany's refusal to send Taurus long-range cruise missiles to Ukraine. Is this decision on allowing the use of German weapons likely to influence that long-standing refusal?
Not at the moment. Ukrainians have been asking for the Taurus, the state-of-the-art missile system, for a long time, and the German Chancellor has equally long, for an equally long period, said no to this, and I don't think it's going to change during this decision here. Germany has now given Ukraine permission to use the weapons that it has already delivered to Ukraine, and that means, for example, weapon systems like the Howitzer 2000 or the multiple launch rocket system Mars 2. They have a reach of up to 300 kilometers, and that is considerably different to the up to 500 kilometers that the Taurus would potentially be able to reach.
OK, thank you for guiding us through that, Nina. Our chief political correspondent, Nina Haase.